even though it seems like Sony has announced a lot this week and it's only Thursday, it does seem like Microsoft is coming out with equally good announcements of their own. I mean, they didn't exactly eclipse the Bungie news, but announcing that Sony's created baseball game is coming out day one on Game Pass yet again, I still think is a huge deal. Like, you can't understate that. That is a bit of a slap in the face. Kind of like how buying Bungie is a slap in the face. But I also want to say that it's a little bit different because, both are multi-plat or whatever. But at the end of the day, it would have been just a huge FU to Microsoft had Sony bought Bungie and then, kept future games exclusive to PlayStation platforms. Now, it's interesting that they're not going to do that. But it's also, one of those things where we're changing every day in gaming. Every day is going to be something different. Every day is going to bring something unexpected. And we either roll with it or we get out. At the end of the day, I can either roll with Microsoft putting stuff on PC and everywhere else, or I can stop gaming. Or I can roll with Sony, putting stuff on PC, and who knows, everywhere else seems like they're almost second party at this point, or third party. But, at the end of the day, they did have some cool stuff to announce, but Microsoft and Phil Spencer with some really cool stuff too. And this really kind of, I thought, was very interesting and a good topic and a good time to kind of jump into this. And I wanted to talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Crap Gamer, and this, of course, is Crap Gamer Reviews, your home for gaming news, opinions, reviews, and much more. You'll probably notice some changes around here, but hopefully that doesn't stop you from giving us a like. Why would it? And, possibly, maybe even you should consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your free time with me today. I know you guys have plenty of things to do. Always busy, busy, busy. That's the life of you guys. I know that, compared to me anyway. So very much appreciative for everything that you guys are doing. Now, what's interesting here is that, Phil Spencer went out, congratulated everything with the Bungie PlayStation type of deal and like that. Everybody's still, the industry's in shock from the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal. Sony delivered a counterpunch, although one that had been in the work for several months, to be sure, by acquiring Bungie. It sounds like a lot of money for a developer that owns but one single IP. There's a much bigger game companies with a market cap that's not far off from the figures. Sega is currently valued at $3.8 billion, for instance, while Square Enix is a bit higher at $5.8 billion. Still, when asked an analyst about it, whether Sony's money had been well spent, he pointed out that the synergies between the two companies could make it very lucrative for both sides, including Microsoft. When assuming whether this was a good use of the $3.6 billion, the company fundamentals are, of course, important. But you also need to consider any strategic premium benefits in terms of where the acquisition can take PlayStation in the mid-term future in ways of synergies. PlayStation is going after live services, which Bungie has a lot of expertise in. Sony has to go after live service more aggressively than ever before, given the traction in the gaming space and the model being increasingly offered to and adopted by consumers. The multi-platform decision will be a similar tune. Multi-platform is becoming table stakes, so it's right for Sony to pursue in order to minimize competitive pressures from others and maximize revenue potential. As said many times in the past, Xbox's future is cross-platform, PlayStation's future is cross-entertainment. PlayStation is following the market in terms of cross-platform, but it can lead in terms of drawing synergies for gaming from across entertainment and video, music, sports, and social in particular. Bungie's live service expertise will likely contribute to the journey, as we already heard from Jim Ryan. Philosophically, this isn't about pulling things into the PlayStation world. This is about building huge and wonderful new worlds together. Lastly, despite Destiny 2 being the key current title at the moment, Bungie is, of course, no one-hit wonder. It stood behind the creation of Halo, and even though it no longer owns it, it does count towards its track record of producing hits with longevity. If Bungie can continue the success in the future, help Sony grow live service communities, and contribute to activating Sony's cross-entertainment potential, the deal could be very lucrative for both sides. Now, this is the very interesting part, because this could actually help Microsoft in the long run as well, which is kind of what's going on here. Now, Microsoft has obviously announced that, and there's also like a lot of rumors around, which I've already covered, that Microsoft is actually going to buy into, another studio, or maybe possibly even developers. But, I just think that it was really just a very interesting type of topic that we're sort of getting into, because Microsoft is clearly going to kind of jump into this as something that, obviously there's a lot of fans of this company, Bungie. Microsoft wanted Bungie. Microsoft look, this is my opinion, and my opinion strictly, right? You might feel completely different, but Microsoft wanted Bungie and jumped out when they couldn't get Bungie and own like the rights to their games and stuff like that. They wanted Destiny exclusive to Xbox. That's Phil Spencer's favorite game, right? So kudos to Phil for going out there and trying to get that game exclusively when you couldn't lock down that studio for, $2.5 billion or whatever, and also, make the games exclusive. At what point does that make it even worth buying? Yes, you can make some money off of it, but it's not helping to bring people into your ecosystem realistically. So it is a very sort of strange kind of relationship to see when that happens. But that wasn't the only thing. There was a bit of a slapping to Sony. Phil Spencer is actually getting a Lifetime Achievement Award at the 25th Annual DICE. Microsoft executive Phil Spencer will receive the Lifetime Achievement Award at the 25th Annual DICE ceremony, as announced today in a press release sent out by the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences. The award will be presented by none other than Todd Howard, the esteemed Bethesda Game Studios director and executive producer known mainly for his pivotal role in many Elder Scrolls and Fallout games. Howard himself was inducted into the Hall of Fame back in 2017. Last year, Microsoft finalized the acquisition of Bethesda's parent company, ZeniMax, for roughly $7.5 billion, which means Phil Spencer is now technically Howard's boss. Now, the president of the AIAS said in a statement, Phil Spencer has demonstrated both passion and leadership throughout his entire career at Microsoft. He's responsible for countless impactful and pivotal initiatives that have reverberated throughout the entire gaming industry. On behalf of the Academy's Board of Directors, we are looking forward to celebrating Spencer's important impact on video game history by presenting him with our Lifetime Achievement Award. Now, Phil's career started back at Microsoft in 1988 as an intern, and since that time has experienced a continuous rise to more prominent positions, such as Executive Vice President, Gaming, Head of Xbox, Corporate Vice President, Microsoft Studios, and General Manager, Microsoft Game Studios. Most recently, earlier this month, he was formally named CEO of Microsoft Gaming. Notoriously, Spencer was able to turn the ship around after the disastrous Xbox One launch spearheaded by Don Matrick, whose vision of an always-connected console didn't really jive with the consumers over the years. Phil Spencer managed to vastly improve Microsoft's reputation with everybody, admitting past shortcomings and committing to day one releases with PC of all Xbox exclusives on the platform. He got promoted to Microsoft's senior leadership team in 2017. He also led the organization to an unprecedented studio acquisition spree that would deliver all the original content necessary for Satya Nadella's dreams of Game Pass as Netflix for games. Now, this is very crucial because obviously he is kind of a titan in the industry, and this is something that I think a lot of people probably are happy about. Now, I'm not one of those people that's going to randomly kiss Phil Spencer's behind and things like that. I think that that's, one of the things that kind of irks me when people do that. But, at the same time, I still think that, obviously people are deserve some praise, and he's done a fairly good job at kind of turning things around. Look, they're basically almost doing the same kind of things that Matrick wanted to do, but it's much more accepted now because it just is. I mean, more people than ever are just online enabled, and and so he gets the credit for all that, and he also gets some credit, I think, because he wanted to push Xbox into a more I don't want to say, I guess, more hardcore, where Matrick was kind of more leaning a little bit back away and towards the casual gamers. Phil has kind of avoided that, even when it comes to like VR. It looks like Phil is definitely going to be kind of avoiding that situation. So I think Phil has done a really good job of kind of coming together with fans and stuff like that. So as far as I could tell, Phil, he deserves this award. He's done a pretty good job, even though, in my opinion, he's had his ups and downs. I mean, clearly downs. Closing Lionhead, canceling Fable Legends, canceling Scalebound, closing like 5, 6, 7 studios, whatever it was, letting Twisted Pixel go, not agreeing to pay $5 extra million for a true Phantom Dust remake. I mean, the list kind of goes on and on. There's been some bad things in there. Maybe overpromised a bit, with some things. Listen, I'm not any type of person that's going to be blowing smoke about Phil Spencer, but he still has saved Xbox, and Xbox is in it for the long haul, and that's something to be commended. I will link all of these articles in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up, crap gamer out.